Hey y'all, I want to talk today. I'm just jumping right into it. I want to talk about, I'm on my lunch break, so y'all gonna have to catch me eating. But I want to talk about not taking things personal. When I say not taking things personal, for instance, today, had a patient say that the last time that I stuck her, she said that I told her, and I was like, ain't no way. But she was like, can I get somebody else? Absolutely. I say that to say don't take offense when a patient wants to get someone else. I think that it's a number of things going on. As far as like, I'm in the car, y'all gonna see me watching my surroundings. It's a number of things going on. As far as like, I look younger than I am. Uh, and I remember sticking her the last time I was here. And I'm a floater, by the way, so I don't come to this clinic all the time. Not even like once a week. It might be every other week. It might be a couple times a month, if that. But I remember the last time I stuck her, it was having a little bit of complications because she has a leg graft, but it was bruising already. Like, she was bruised. So I remember how she responded, how she acted to me, period. So some patients can't, like, they really don't like being stuck by different people all the time. But, am I going to lie and say that I wasn't a little bothered at first? Yes, because you talking about I tore your leg up. I don't like that. But, because to me, that's not true. But, it's not my body. So she was like, you're not offended, are you? I said, no, it's not my body. It's not my body. Sticking people with needles that's gonna have to stay in them or whatever, for whatever the case may be, whether it's dialysis or phlebotomy, is not, it's an invasive procedure, and I'm gonna call it that because, like, a lot can go wrong, a lot can go right. So I continue to say, don't take it personal, because then I stuck a patient maybe an hour or so later, and as soon as I stuck him, he was like, you did pretty good. You did really good. Thank you. Like, patients have preferences, and I probably would too if I was in their situation. So if somebody wants somebody else to stick them, just get somebody else to stick them. Don't take it personal, because if you stay in this job long enough, you'll stick enough people. Like, it's not even that deep. Now, if someone gets aggressive, and then you be like, hey, can you just handle this, for the day? And sometimes they may or may not, but be like, hey, you can take their needle, stick them, and take their needles out. But again, like I said, don't take stuff personal. Like, I also watched how she responded to the familiar face of someone that she knew. She didn't jump. She didn't jerk. She wasn't like, like, she didn't do any of that. But I remember last time I dealt with her, she was already tensing up. And I'm like, why? But it's okay. Matter of fact, let's work for me. Because the funny part is, even after somebody else stuck her, then her arterial line kept going off. Guess what? None of my business. Now, whatever happens, I'm satisfied. I'm happy that somebody else stuck you. Because now, whatever else happens, Not gonna be my fault. Not gonna be my problem. Because I didn't stick you. But I bet you won't say that that person messed you up. You won't. She won't. So it is what it is. Like, don't take nothing personal. If a patient don't want you to deal with them, if anything, there's different ways to win them over. If you had a permanent clinic, different ways to win them over. I mean, just listen to them. So I'm not gonna lie. Like in the past, when I had my home clinic, I remember this one patient. He would always be acting like he's dying, but when his favorite was there, of course it was not a problem. Well, that was annoying. It was like, instead of acting like you dying, just ask for somebody else to stick you. So then I got to the point where like, hey, somebody come stick this man. So he won't feel no type of way. Or he'll feel heard from the clinic. It looks like teamwork. It doesn't look like I'm trying to force him to be stuck by me. Because that's another situation. I've seen people try to force themselves onto patients. And I think that's ridiculous. Because you won't want nobody forcing themselves on you as far as like needle-wise. You won't want that. So, don't take it personal. It's not about you. It's about the patient. It's not about how many people you can stick. It's about the patient. I have people you get that. You get all kind of different things. And then certain areas, because I float, they're different than others. Some areas, like, just some areas the patients are a little more dramatic. And some areas aren't. Like, some areas, if I ask the patient, how much do you want to take off? I'm asking them because I'm a floater. I'm also asking them because I feel like that's a part of patient education. For them to know, this is how much my body can handle, and this is how much my body cannot handle. I got an example of that for this morning. I had a patient. She wanted to pull off 4 kilograms. Now, me looking at her numbers, I knew that was too much. But every time I have her, she want to do the most. I said, all right, are you sure? She's like, yeah, I'm going to try it. She had 30 minutes left, pulled off 3.3, and blood pressure started tanking, started cramping, everything. She can't pull off 4. Now, I know this. She's always just testing. You got some patients that just test the limit. I don't think she'll test the limit anymore. And I'm glad for that, because it's like you need to stop doing that. First of all, testing the limit messes with their heart. Second of all, testing a limit, it will hurt them later. So if you have someone that's going back and forth with you, that's when I'd be like, all right, let the nurse know. Boom, move on. So if they're going back and forth with you about it, and some people I've seen go back and forth with the nurse, they don't care, because again, it's their body. But once they start cramping and all that, if you get to the point of pass out, then as far as the patient, like if they get to the point where they pass out, then that's why I'd be mad, because I'd be like, see, this is why I don't listen to you. But I always ask, because you may or may not know how much you can take. So I was somewhere north. I'm south today. I was north Georgia yesterday, and asked the patient, how much can you pull? Well, he didn't know. That annoys me, because it's not his fault. It's our fault. Whoever's been taking care of him and handling him, they should know generally their numbers. Like, I believe in teaching the patients their numbers because that's a part of patient education. And I also don't care for a patient to be there for ever. Like, if they first start dialysis and they are acute and they have the potential with their numbers, with their cleansing of their kidney and whatnot, they're still urinating. If they have the potential to waken their kidneys back up, then I'm more diligent in teaching them or educating them on, hey, be careful with, your fluid and, with your meds, and pay attention to your blood pressures and stuff like that, and your numbers, because when they first start, you shouldn't, if they're acute and they're expecting, the doctors are expecting, let me be specific so people won't be like, the doctors are expecting their kidneys to wake back up. You're not supposed to pull off a certain amount, and they shouldn't be running for a certain length. But what I'm seeing in certain areas, and from doing this it'll be 6 years this year, I feel like, especially with the U.S. healthcare system, it's almost like they want them to be in that chair, the dialysis chair, which is sad. And I mean, all they can do is really advocate for themselves strongly, so that they aren't stuck in that chair, for the rest of their life. And also, in advocating, you can't advocate for yourself without following, certain guidelines. So I'll just end this video with that by saying, don't take it personal. If you feel like you're doing a horrible job because the patient is like, oh, you messed me up last time, just let somebody else handle it, so that if that person messes up, or if anybody else messes up, in your mind, because I didn't say, okay, I just was like, yeah, y'all handle it, like, you stuck her. But if in your mind you're like, that's what you get, because you thinking, for a patient, the patient is thinking, or for whatever reason, they really have their mindset that you messed them up. And if that's the case, I think about it like this, because I be going to different clinics all the time, and I'm like, in my head, I'm like, if that's the case, then I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing. Now, mind you, have I messed someone up? Absolutely. We all have. If you've been doing it 6 months to a year, you have. If you've been doing it longer, you have. Not on purpose, not intentionally, but it has happened. Especially if they have a new access. Oh my God, the possibility of infiltration is because the access is still growing. So I just say that to say, don't feel too bad, don't beat yourself up. Just hold your head up and don't take it personal. Bye. Talk to y'all later.